So I was going to do a quick little demo here, and so a lot of what people know about Khan Academy are these videos that I started out making for my cousins, and then later we had these interactive questions and things that you can do on the site as well that the videos essentially complement, and this is what a lot of the schools systems have been using. But what I want to show today is this the computer science platform essentially that we launched a couple of weeks ago, and what's fun about it is you know, a lot of what we've been talking about is, hey, if kids can learn at their own pace, if lecture can happen at home, what do you use in class time? And we've always said, well, it should be more interactive, it should be more project-based. And there's always this question, well, what is a project in math? Or what is a project in pretty much anything? And for the most part, it really should be computer science. And this is another opportunity that I think all of us have here, isn't to just address what's currently going on in the school system, is to actually add new things, new topics to the existing, I guess, portfolio of things that students could work on. And computer science, at least I think most people in this room will agree, is kind of this 21st century skill that's kind of, it's a gap right now in most schools. So I'll show you this computer science platform we launched. And so this first thing that you see right here, it's on the left is our text editor, on the right is what we call our scratch pad. And you can operate it a little bit like a video. So if I press play.
Let's start out by learning how to draw some basic shapes with code. It's really easy. If I want to draw a rectangle, for example, I can just type rect, which stands for rectangle, and in open parentheses, and then 4 numbers separated by commas, then close parentheses and a semicolon. Ta-da!
So you see a couple of interesting things that was happening here. That was our intern Jessica, who's a rock star, who's made these videos, and you'll see why I put parentheses around videos in a second. So while she was writing that code or making that video, you saw she typed in, it was actually doing real-time evaluation of it. So there isn't a, you know, compile or run or save and then run. And this was really inspired by a lot of the work of Brett Victor. But what's neat about this is I just paused the video, but then I can actually go in and actually edit the code myself that she was actually writing. So I can actually change the parameters for the rectangle if I want. I can change the background. I can change the background. And you see, not only can I change these things, but I don't have to. It's a much more manipulative, hands-on way of doing it. You don't have to sit and actually reinterpret it. And the one surprising thing, a lot of this was designed for kids so that they feel more comfortable with programming. And a lot of emphasis is really to get girls more interested in programming. But I always emphasize it's girls and the other 95% of boys interested in programming. And the whole point here is so that they feel more tactile. But the other thing we've also noticed is that even experienced programmers have found this to be an incredibly valuable way to prototype because you get the real-time feedback of playing with things. But just to get a sense of where all of this type of thing could go, this is a pendulum, essentially lab that we're going to be putting inside of Khan Academy. It was built in our Scratchpad. We actually encourage the students to go in and try to tweak it, make it a better simulation. And then in real time, even though it's an animation, you can actually change the code and see how it might affect the implement. So here I'm changing the top of the pendulum while the code is actually running. Here I'm changing the center X. And so you can change, obviously, you can change the length of the pendulum and all of that. So it's a physics lab, but you can also have the code right there and tweak it in a more deep way and tweak it in real time. This over here kind of shows what the community has started doing. So everything we do, you share on your profile, and then communities you can do save as, and it goes in other people's profiles, and then they can innovate on that. And there's a whole message board functionality beneath it where students can compare and get kind of feedback and data. But this was neat. This is someone branching off of that code that you just saw. And what it does is it shows the difference between the actual solved pendulum period and what the textbooks predict. You always probably remember that sine of theta is an approximation for theta. That's what they're showing right over here. It actually is not for large thetas. This is how a user shares their profile. So the whole point is to bring the more creative aspect of computer science, not just learn x is equal to y plus 1, but to show that you can make really interesting things. And then just finally, I just want to show you that you can do some pretty substantive things in this and change it in real time. And to just show that this is something that isn't just for kids, that we've gotten a lot of feedback from, actually probably a lot of y'all on this. I'll share y'all a little quote that we recently got on Twitter that I thought fully encapsulates what's going on here, because I myself have started to feel this. Words cannot express the nerdgasm I am having with this. So with that, thank you.